And this report says structural and institutional racism continues to exist within the game. I assume that comes as no surprise to you.
No, it hasn't come as a surprise to me, Mark, and I would tell you it hasn't come as a surprise to a lot of people that were looking at the results of this report coming out. It is something that we have already known was in the game. It was something that I already knew because of my experiences playing county cricket and, of course, having so many friends and West Indians who have told me about their experiences in county cricket. But as I said before, Mark, this is not a cricket problem. Yes, each sport has to deal with whatever problem they have got facing them to make their sport more inclusive and more diverse and more welcoming to everyone. But the society has to change, Mark. If the society doesn't change, it's not going to be easy for any sport to really bring things to where they want it to be.
I mean, the responses to this report, and it is a very detailed report, have been shocking. Half of the respondents, as I say, experiencing discrimination, but much higher when it comes to ethnically diverse communities. 87% of Pakistani and Bangladeshi heritage people who responded have experienced discrimination. 82% Indian heritage, 75% of all black respondents. And the report says, is it any wonder black people are giving up on the game of cricket?
Well, it is something that is endemic, Mark. It's something that people have grown up being accustomed to. This is a problem that has started many, many years ago, and people are just now thinking that it's the norm, that when they say certain things, they may think it's funny. They may think, oh, I've heard it so many times. They may think because they have grown up in a society that has accepted that it has a norm, that it is okay. That has to change. What people need to recognize, Mark, is that not everyone who says something that may be deemed racist or behaves in a racist manner is a bad person. They have said it or done it because that is what they're accustomed to seeing and living around them. My problem, though, is with those who then get to realize that they are making bad decisions with things that they say and do, and recognize that, yes, it's not what I should be doing. Don't change. They don't recognize that it is wrong and don't change. That is my problem. You'll always have people that need learning. It's an educational thing. Not everyone is a bad person, but when they learn, they need to recognize that they were wrong and need to change.
So let's look ahead then, if we can. There is this apology from the ECB today. Clearly, you know, it's going to take a lot more than that. What do you think is the answer, specifically relating to cricket? How can you get a kind of talent pathway that is more inclusive and more meritocratic?
Well, I haven't seen the entire report. It's over 300 pages. I got a briefing on it because Cindy Botsu spoke to me a few years ago, and she decided that she needed to brief me on the report before it actually came out publicly. But what I understand is that they have made some recommendations, 44 recommendations. Some of them are not going to be easy to put in place, but some of them are quite simple. The game has got to be inclusive, but not just putting the word inclusive. People have got to feel that they are welcome in the game. You have got to also make sure that it is open at the grassroots level to everyone. It's about opportunity, Mark. You see, some of the schools in England, it's difficult for them to play cricket because they are inner city schools, they haven't got the space and all that. But when you come across schools like that, which I understand are the public schools, not the private schools, or the state schools, I think you call them in the UK, the ECB or the local board in cricket association in that part of the world, in that part of the country, in that part of the county, need to try to find a way of opening up fields and areas and playgrounds for these kids to be able to play cricket. That's one thing. The other thing is people who feel as if they are not wanted. It's all down to conversation. Nothing will get solved unless you have conversations about it. Let people come in and talk about how they feel, why they feel the way they feel, and see what can be done about that, so that everyone will turn up at these venues, turn up at cricket grounds, turn up at clubs, turn up at schools, feeling, yes, I'm a part of all this, I can get involved. Otherwise, you'll find people just walking away. The first stumbling block they come up against, they'll say, oh, they don't want me around. It's the same old story. Let me find something else to do. Those are the things that we have got to break down, those barriers.
So it's about young players wanting to play cricket again because they trust that the system will include them and will be fair to them.
Definitely. Unless you feel you're being treated fairly, Mark, you'll walk away from anything. Unless you're desperate. For instance, if it's a job, you will stick with the job because you know that you have got to earn to make a living for your friends and for your family and your kids and whatever. But if it's a sport, who is going to go through all that torture for a sport? They want to make sure that they are welcomed, that they feel comfortable. They are going to this thing and they're going to be enjoying it. Otherwise, they'll find something else to do.
I mean, there's a lot also about the women's game, the girls' game, you know, and the report says that, you know, girls and women are subordinate to boys and men at all levels of the sport. That is a damning criticism as well.
Yeah, well, we have always known that cricket is sexist. All you have got to do is look at the length of time it has taken so many clubs to allow women into their pavilions. So you know that the game is sexist. That is breaking down slowly. What the report, I understand, is trying to say now is that they must get equal pay and equal recognition, equal time. That is going to take some time. Yeah. But we have to make sure that the sexist part of it, where women are looked down upon and women are not allowed in certain clubs and not allowed in certain pavilions, that has to change and change quickly. That is not a difficult do. Just
finally, Michael, you spoke in the clip that we played just earlier, you spoke about your grandson, and you wanted your grandson to grow up in a sport or in a society where he got, you know, a fair crack of the whip and things were equal. Do you think your grandson could grow up in a game of cricket that would give him an equal break, in a society that will give him an equal break?
I think we're approaching it, Mark. As I said also, I'm not too sure if you played that clip earlier on, but I don't expect everything to change and be perfect in my lifetime. You know, I haven't got many, many more years left on this earth. But my grandson is 7 years old now. He was 6 at the time that I spoke. One would hope that by the time he gets into his high teens and into his 20s, that there will be a lot more equality and he feel a lot more welcomed in this world wherever he goes, not just in sport, but in any society, anywhere that he goes. It's a long battle. It's a long road to travel. But I see change. I have hope that things will get better. I'm not really seeing things getting better. It's going to be a long road. Something that has been going on for centuries is not going to change in a decade or two. But once you see progress being made, once you see people recognizing that things are not right and people working towards getting things better, I am hopeful, and because I see that happening. I have a lot of friends that have come to me, have spoken to me about their changing in of attitude and the way that they now think compared to how they thought, say, 2-3 years ago. So I'm hopeful, I see change, and I think it will continue to change and be for the better.